so if we're looking out that way, now you're looking at the heart of the fighting. So the border. We've had a lot of rocket fire in general, but definitely a few big booms. What is going on, people? Welcome to Big Man Outdoor Adventures, and after a few weeks hiatus, courtesy of a full-blown war, I got a kid in school, and that means I can film. So, coming to you from Israel's north, on the front line, we're getting right out into the action, and we're going to go on a nice hike and pray to God that I do not get a piece of shrapnel stuck in my tuchus. So, we have taken some calculated risks. We decided that we would keep not too close to the border with Lebanon, because then you might get kidnapped by Hezbollah, and that's bad. So, rockets, okay. Being kidnapped, not okay. Anyway, we're going up to Mount Gilboa, and it should be otherwise an absolutely beautiful experience. So, get ready for some booms and beauty, and let's get rolling. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm actually facing south. We are at the south end of the Galilee. If you keep going straight that way, eventually you will head back towards Jerusalem. And as I turn, very slowly for the purposes of cinematic stuff, over that hill, we would be turning all the way up north towards Lebanon. Lots of action going on there. And to the east towards the Golan. So, now that we have gotten a little bit of grounding, let's keep moving. All right, so if we're looking out that way, now you're looking at the heart of the fighting. So the border with Lebanon is about over there, off into the mist. Were we that much closer? Well, we wouldn't want to be. Cross-border raids are a thing. People get kidnapped, and there is small arms fire, although that can happen here. We've had a couple of booms so far, but nothing over our heads and nothing falling around us, and we'd like to keep it that way. So, the most intense fighting, over there. Less intense fighting, over here. By the way, it's really pretty, isn't it? You're over what's called Emek HaMayanot, the Valley of Springs. All right, and then it starts to get into the Upper Galilee, right about there, and where the land goes from nice and with trees and blooming, and it turns into this brown, kind of crappy-looking thing. That's where the Israeli-Lebanese border is. I'll let you choose which one is the nice one with all the blooming stuff. I'll leave that to your imagination. So, let's move on and hope that our luck holds up and that we get through this without anything horrific happening. All right, folks, don't mind the wind, but I gotta give you the view. All combat aside and stuff like that, this is freaking amazing, man. You can see all the agricultural land between here and the next set of mountains in the Galilee. And as you can see, it's a beautiful spring day. All right, let's keep the ball rolling and not try and jinx ourselves too much on the potential of rockets. Well, now we're at parts of the trails, or the part of this trail anyway, that I like to call death by cardio to a fat man. It's nice, it's steep, it's ridiculously steep, and at least it's not muddy, man. I've done some of this stuff when it's muddy or wet. Forget about it. But let me tell you, you get your calf work in here, all right? Get your lungs breathing, heart rate up. Get a little bit of exercise. All right, so I thought I would let everybody see what I'm seeing over here. Pretty nice. Little rocky, as is typical of the lower Galilee. But all in all, minus the rain and mud, no problem. Did I mention that it's freaking gorgeous? So, just worked our way through a pretty tough section of trail. Just, a little bit of scrambling, crawling over rocks, those things that make you think, what Parks and Wildlife guy saw this and said, yeah, that looks like a trail. Just one of those sections. No big deal, but good Lord. I mean, look around. And look up, because, could be bad. But so far, beautiful, quiet, remarkably idyllic. Let's keep moving. All right, so we're working our way through a pretty tough descent. Scenic one, definitely a tough one. Can see a few clouds, not so happy about that. But as long as nothing comes through the clouds, I'm okay. Like real talk, we've had a lot of rocket fire in general. And, well, we're just kind of used to it. That's a sad statement, but it's a reality. So, let's just gather in some beauty here and keep hauling. Got some smoke rising. I don't know if you can see it over there. It's still a little cloudy, but definitely a few big booms. It's a shame. It really is. It's a beautiful place. Why do you got to keep launching stuff into it? All right, now, as you notice by that barbed wire, that means we don't get to go there, and it's not because it's agricultural. No, on one side is what is technically a nature preserve, and on the other you have closed military area. Izot Tzbai, it's called in Hebrew. You don't get to go there. In fact, we were actually kind of forced off a little detour that we wanted to do because they closed off a little bit more of the trail, and so it kind of forced us back to the main ATV path. So we lost a little bit, but, given the circumstances, I'm not complaining too much. The last stretches of a hike are always the toughest. And honestly, sometimes I ask myself, how do I push myself through it? All right? So it's not the hardest terrain. All right, usually as you get closer to the road, it's an ATV track or something like that. But it's still, man, when you've been going for 4, 5, 6 hours plus, you're done, man. And I always got gear. I got camera gear, all that good stuff. And so the idea, I guess, is just tough it out, man. That's real talk. Well, folks, we just got the signal. There's going to be rocket fire. Unfortunately, I just got back to the car and we're finishing the video. So, we may hide under the car. We may hide in the car. Either way, we got through open fields, plains, and all sorts of stuff like that without anything hitting us. I'm going to say thank you to God because I am a man of faith. Lots of booms, lots of planes, lots of action, some decent scenery, good scenery, and it's been about 5 hours of praying to God that no shrapnel fire down on me. And that's it. So, if you like it, click like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And as always, we'll see you next time.